Welcome to Edurific. In this session, as you can see, we are already on the app lab of the code.org platform. In this session, we shall be creating a project of creating an app which calculates our BMI. So basically this app is a BMI calculator. So we shall be creating our project on BMI calculator. So we shall rename our project to BMI and save it. So firstly, for creating this project, you have to understand what BMI is all about. BMI is basically body mass index, which is mathematically the expression of weight of an individual divided by the height of an individual multiplied with again the height of the individual. So in simple terms, it is weight divided by height square. So from the BMI, what do we get? How is BMI helpful? And why is it needed for someone to check or calculate BMI? So yes, from a BMI, we get to analyze the health and physique of our body. If your BMI is calculated by putting in your weight and height, so once you enter your weight and height, you get a number. If that number is greater than 35, then it means that you are excessively obese. If that number is greater than 30, you are obese. Or if that number is greater than 25, you are overeating or overweight. And if that number is greater than 18.5, then you are normal, which is perfect, and you have no worries about your health or physique. Otherwise, if it is less than 18.5, you are underweight. So everything other than 18.5 is when you have to worry about your physique and health and have to maintain and be conscious. So firstly, our app creates BMI calculator. How do we do that? We shall firstly understand what happens in the app. So basically, we'll ask the user to enter his weight and then his height, and then we will be calculating by dividing the weight by the square of the height, and then we'll be giving the result by telling if he is either excessively obese or overweight or normal or underweight. So firstly, we shall create the layout of our app. For creating the layout, we shall go to the design mode. Now, we shall make our layout nice and engage the user. So firstly, as you know, we shall give a heading. For the heading, we can go and drag the text area element, place it on top. And as you can see in the properties, we shall have the ID as text area 1 and create text saying BMI calculator. And since its font is very low, we shall increase its font to about 20. Perfect. Now, since you know, we need one weight input, one height input, and one result which we will be giving, that is the computer will be calculating and giving. We need basically 3 text input blocks. So for that, we shall drag the text input element and place it in the visualizing section. So we have placed one input. We place second text input, and we shall place the third text input. Basically, again, we'll be going to the first one, which is named as text input 1, and on top of that, we shall be placing a text label for the user to understand that he has to enter his weight. So Label 1 is the weight label. We shall increase the font size to 20 and place it properly in the middle. Now again we shall create one more label on top of the second text input, which is label 2, and we shall remove the text and add it as height and increase the font size to 20 and place it here. Now our third will be the result or the BMI. So we can again add a text out here or a little more down. And say that this is the BMI that has been calculated, that is the body mass index of the person. Since this is the result, we shall just give it more font size and place it properly. Now once the user enters the weight and height, he should be clicking a button so that the computer takes in the values and stores them. So this button can be set as button 1, which is its ID, and set as go. So now as you can see, we have created our layout for the BMI calculator, which consists of 2 inputs and 1 output, which is the inputs being height and weight and the output being BMI, which we should be returning, that is the computer should be giving as an answer. Now our design mode layout is finished. So we have to go to the coding section to give characters and features to all the elements that we used, like the labels or the weight label or the height label or the text input elements or the button, some feature and characteristics. So firstly, we shall now begin creating the code for calculating the BMI, which is the app about. As you know, there are 3 variables which can vary, which is the weight, height and BMI. So for this, we shall drag into the variables category, drag variable command, place it here. So the first variable would be weight. We shall name it weight. And currently there is no value, so we shall give it 0. Now again drag the variable command and place it here. And give the name height. And since there is no value currently, we shall give an input value of 0. And again drag the variable command and assemble it in the scripting section, creating a script. Now for this variable, we shall be giving the name BMI, which is again not calculated, so we shall give it 0. Now, as you know, the on event command in the UI controls is for computing something when some button is clicked. So from this, as you know, the user should click the go button and once the go button is clicked, the BMI should be computed using the weight and height inputs. So on event of clicking the button 1, which is the go button, function event. Alright, now all the texts included by the user in the input elements should be recorded in the variables. So for that sake, we shall go to the variable section, drag the first command, place it here, and again say that variable weight, since we have used uppercase letters, we should again be using the uppercase letters. Go back to UI controls and drag the get number command, which means that the number which is entered in the text input 1 will be stored as a unique value in a variable which is called weight, and then you will again mention the variable weight. Whichever value is stored in variable weight will be taken from the data. Similarly, we shall do this with height. So for again resembling this with height, we shall go to the variables category, drag the variable command, place it here in the assembling section, creating a script, name our variable as height, go back to the UI controls, drag the get number command, place it here. Since height is to be entered in the text input 2 element, we shall name it here. This means that the number entered in text input 2 will be stored as height, which is a variable and a unique value. So now both variable weight and variable height will collect unique values and store them in the computer's memory load and enable them to be accessed when again in use. Now we shall use these variables, that is, again create a variable command. We go to the variables category, drag the first command of variable. Now this time, how do we compute the BMI? For this, we shall place it as BMI variable. So in the BMI variable, the BMI computed will be stored. And how is BMI computed? As we have discussed, BMI is weight by height square. So we go to the math category, drag the division symbol command and place it here. As you know, we can only divide two numbers from this. So to divide twice the height, we again place a division command in the first. With this, we can do height square. Let me show you how. So in this, we shall enter weight divided by height, again divided by height. This means that weight divided by height square is the BMI, which is being computed and stored as a unique value in the computer's memory load in the BMI variable. Now, our BMI has now been computed. What we have to do now is go to the UI controls. For making a comment if the person is obese, extra obese, or overweight, or normal, or underweight, we have to go to the UI controls, drag the set text command, place it here, and create the ID as input 3. And since we are calculating BMI, which is related to input 3, we shall be applying input 3 as BMI. Now, since there are different possibilities of the outcome for a BMI, we shall drag the if-else loop and give our various possibilities. So, our first possibility, as we have discussed, is that if BMI is greater than 35. So, for using this, we shall drag the greater than command from the math category and place it here. And now we say BMI and say greater than 35. Then we go to the UI controls category and we should flash a comment saying that it is excessively obese or extremely obese. For this, we drag the set text command, place it here, say ID as text input 3, and our text would be excessively obese. Now, if this is not the case, then BMI greater than 30 would be the next case. So we again drag the greater than command from the math category, say again BMI greater than 30. So if BMI is greater than 30, we have discussed that it is obese. So now again drag the set text command, say text input 3, because that is where this message will be flashing, and add obese as the message. Similarly, we shall be doing this for all the other possibilities. Now our next possibility will be BMI greater than 25, which again we will be taking the greater than command, placing it in the script saying that BMI greater than 25, going to the UI controls, dragging the set text command and assembling it in the script, choosing our ID as text input 3 because that's where the command should be flashing, and changing our text to overweight, since that is what BMI greater than 25 means. And the next possibility will be BMI greater than 18.5. For this, we can go to the math category, drag the greater than command, place it in between, and say BMI greater than 18.5. Now to flash a command, we shall go to the UI controls, drag the set text, command, place ID as text input 3, flash text as normal, now all our possibilities are done except for one, which is if the BMI is less than 18.5. Now since this is the only possibility left, we need not mention it separately, instead leave it as else. So now we just drag the set text command, change the input as text input 3 and include the text underweight, which is any BMI other than greater than 18.5 will be considered as underweight. So basically, I'll just review through the code. So what we have done is we have created 3 variables where 2 are input variables and 1 is an output variable. So in the input variables, the weight and height should be entered by the user, and when the go button is clicked, everything in the green should be running. So what happens when we click the go button after entering our weight is that our weight is stored in the weight variable and our height is stored in the height variable, and the BMI is computed by taking those unique variables values which are stored in the computer memory load and computed the BMI by the formula or the equation weight by height square and computes the BMI. It has received some result, and on that basis of the result, it compares with these possibilities. If the result of the weight by height square value is greater than 35, it flashes excessively obese. If it is greater than 30, it flashes obese. If it is greater than 25, it flashes overweight. If it is greater than 18.5, it flashes normal. And if it is nothing than this, it means that it is less than 18.5, so it flashes underweight. So basically, we have already given some sets, which is 30 to 35, 20 to 25, 30 to 35, 25 to 30, and 18.5 to 25. So anything other than these sets will be flashed as underweight. Now, we have now finished creating our code and also setting up our layout. So we have set up our layout using the design mode of the app lab, and we have prepared our code using the code mode of the app lab. We have created all the necessary requirements for our app of calculating the BMI. So now we should compile the code and check whether our code is correct and is running. So firstly, for compiling the code, we shall click on the run button in the visualizing section. Our code has been compiled. Now I shall enter a hypothetical weight of 10 and a height of 2 and click go. As you can see, it flashed underweight. Now I'll reset it again and enter, run it and enter another hypothetical weight of 500 and height of 4 and click go. As you can see, obese has featured. So now our code is working and we have created a BMI calculator which helps us analyze our BMI by telling us about the physique and health of our body and helps us be cautious. So our app is ready. I hope you have understood very much regarding the features of the app lab through this session and enjoyed yourself through this. Thank you very much.